Hi, welcome for part 2 of this series I am doing on walking through grief. Last time I just explained a few instances of grief I've been through myself in my life. That's in the introductory session. The first thing I felt very impressed to get across, and it may be something you've heard before, but it's never hurts to be reminded, is to things not to do when you've lost someone or lost something that meant a lot to you. Of course, don't just go crazy trying to ignore it by overworking or overplaying or overdoing anything. That's a way of numbing the pain. And if you're working and exercising a lot, and I've had experience with this, especially my first baby when she passed, I didn't know better, and I threw myself like crazy into, I worked at a group home with teenagers, and I didn't give it more than a couple of weeks, and I was back to work there, taking care of all their needs and all the routines of the house and everything, while my wife was at home alone, doing a much better, more constructive job of grieving. The reason I say this as a warning is that about 6 months later, I was struggling with two things. A severe case of fatigue, and the doctor eventually diagnosed it as hypoglycemia. I'd have a little sugar and then boom, I would go down and just be out of it. And I'd never had that condition really in my life before. The other thing was that anger, real serious anger issues started coming up. And later I'd realized that because I hadn't totally cried out, with authentic tears in private somewhere a few times, maybe I hadn't walked through forgiving people that I maybe could blame for the death of my child at the hospital or myself. Things like that in a lot of men, at least, it comes out later as anger. Just you say the wrong thing at the wrong time, really bitter words, and you can damage property, you can lose jobs, whatever it might be, if you don't just deal with it, cry it out, be honest with God, be angry with God, whatever, He can take it. And this current phase now with my dad having passed, it's going much better. I just got right into it and let my emotions out, and I'm never missed hardly a day of work, and doing pretty well. In the next session, I'll be a little more proactive and tell you what to do, not just what not to do. So we'll see you next time. Thanks.